their understanding of in Buddhism, when Zen practitioners share their understanding of the teachings and practice, it is offered freely as a practice of Dana Paramita. Dana is a Pali word that means generosity or to give freely, and this practice is done without expectation of getting something in return. This is the spirit of speaking about the Dharma. Other ways to practice Dana is to offer support to those who share the teachings, to support places of spiritual practice, and to give without judgment or expectation when opportunities arise. Those who seek the teaching, share the teachings at Great Tree, do so on a Dana basis. Please support their practice by giving what you can. And Roshi, did you give me a place to send it to, either physically or on your website, right? He gave the address to Santa Rosa, California, or the smzc.org. The Reverend Nyoze Demian Kwong received a BA in Anthropology and Archaeology from the University of California, Santa Cruz, and worked as a fundraiser at Stanford University's engineering department. In 1998, he lived and worked at Upaya Zen Center in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and studied socially engaged Buddhism with Joan Halifax-Roshi and Bernie Glassman. Nyoze, is that right? Okay.
Finished his formal. Wait until he's done doing his bows.
Oh,
sorry.
I didn't see him there.
His knees are good. His knees are good. He's young, that makes it's more that's the reason, I think.
Yeah.
He's never fine.
Morning.
So go ahead, Lorna.
Okay. In 2012, Nyoze, how do you say his name?
Nyoze.
Nyoze. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nyoze finished his formal training at Eiheiji, and he received Dharma transmission in November of 2014 and completed zuisse in both Eiheiji and Sojiji, head temples of Sotoshu, in June 2015. He is recognized by Sotoshu as a, okay, this one I need help with, Kokusaifukyoshi.
Kokusaifukyoshi, that's okay.
Okay. International Zen teacher in the lineage of Shunryu Suzuki-roshi. You're the vice abbot and head of practice and executive director of Sonoma Mountain Zen Center, and you live in Sonoma Mountain Zen Center with Kashin, your wife, and Eiheiji, their son.
Thank you.
Okay, Teijo, your turn.
Okay, I just want to say welcome. And I think that the first time that I met Reverend Nyoze was when he was about 10 years old, when he came with his father to Minnesota Zen Center, and everyone was very impressed that he sat so quietly during his father's talk in probably a full lotus position, but at least a cross-legged position. So he's been doing this for a while and is about to take over as abbot at the Sonoma Zen community. Is that what it's called?
Sonoma Mountain Zen Center, or Genjoji. You get to say
Yeah.
Genjoji.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We're getting a little bit of an echo. I hope we can understand you okay. Do you have a microphone on?
Yeah, let me see. Hello?
Yeah,
Is there still an echo, kind of?
there's an echo, but I think we can still understand you.
Okay. That's a kind of a big introduction. So see here. First, first I want to. It's an honor to be here in front of your Sangha, Munich Roshi, and thank you for inviting me to actually give a talk for your Sangha. And I'm grateful too to actually give this talk because you are, or we are, in a great lineage. So you know, the lineage of Eiko Hashimoto, the lineage of Oka Sotan, the influences, the big influences that all those great teachers ahead of us actually gave us the practice of just sitting. So it's quite amazing that actually we are actually meeting today together. You would say under the same sky. So it's kind of you would say a big shoes to fill, but so anyways, I'm very honored to be here with everybody today. I guess when I was young, there was many teachers that came through Sonoma Mountain Zen Center, and I was inspired, and they were like role models. So instead of having, well, I mean, I watched the Spider-Man Power Hour while my father was studying, and all the kids would come up to our house and they were running around. But instead of having role models like Superman or all the marvels. When I would meet these teachers or hear them speak, there was something that was immovable. And there was something that was very, very deep and profound just watching them. But as a child, I could feel that and sense that, and also at the same time they would look at you. They would see you. And I remember like Miyazumi-roshi, I showed Miyazumi-roshi my cat, and he made a little calligraphy for me with the cat and then some milk. So they were very there was a very warmth, but there was a depth, and also there was a feeling that was very very precise, and then also very precise, very strict, that you must do it this way, but it was very, very warm at the same time. So seeing all these teachers, and maybe they would give a talk, or we would visit them, but they're all like my aunts and uncles. And as I grew older, and also to this very day, I start to put them into actually a Buddhist family. So it's actually a lineage chart. So to show up and practice like this is part of you would say the turning of or the blossoming of the flower. So it's extremely important, but at the same time extremely rare, and also actually very, very difficult because it's so close that we all look very far away to try to see it, hear it, and receive it. But actually, it's right here, right where we are. So in the mid or later 70s, yeah, I had the opportunity with my father then to go visit Kokusaifukyoshi and then the family, and stay with the family. It was with my older brother and I think we stayed for 3 weeks or a month. And at that time, I think the later 70s was Risk. There was a board game, and people would try to take over the world, and we would play Risk all day, and then Roshi would say bye to us, and then he would come home like then after probably 9:30, and we'd still be playing, and then he would go to sleep. And then he would get up, and this is really early in the morning, but we were still up. And then he saw us still playing, and he got mad at us, and he chased us around the house. And he would snap his finger, he would snap his finger. So of course he was one of my great role models, and to this very day, every day we chant to the founder of Minnesota Zen Center, Diamond Kategori Yoshidayosho. So it does mean a lot for me to be in front of everyone today, and to be invited, and maybe to you would say reconnect, maybe not reconnect, but maybe actualize this the Buddha's lineage, or this great lineage that has been gifted to us Westerners, the practice of silent illumination. So when in 1990, when I was in a abroad program, I heard that Kokusaifukyoshi became very ill. So at that time, I wrote a letter to their family, and Tomoe, she wrote back on a card. And actually, just the other day, I picked this up from cleaning, and this is actually what she said. So this card kind of was an inspiration for this talk today. So it is definitely kind of you would say actualizing, or you say coming together. So of course on the card, my father and mother, they wrote little notes on it, but Hojo-san is another name for the abbot or Roshi. It also means a 10-mat room, which is the Dokusan room. And the Dokusan room is for a teacher and student to meet. Yasuhiko is Katagiri Roshi's oldest son, and Eijo is his youngest son, and then Tomoe is the wife of Katagiri Roshi. So she wrote, this was in April 1990. Dear Demian, thank you for your warm and thoughtful card for my family and me. We watched as Hojo-san's heart quietly stopped. We expected it would beat once more, but it never happened again. He really returned to silence. Later, Yasuhiko told me that he wondered if I should call him back at that time. I said, I think you were very thoughtful because you let him be freed from his suffering and pain. Please don't cry, because I won't cry. Hojo-san whispered with his breath to Eijo. That became the last sentence he could speak. That was the day before his final day. And as you know, the Katagiris received a baby, then we lost our father. We have to accept equally both coming and going. It is too painful to say it is our practice, but we try to stand up in the pain. Please take care of yourself while your parents are away. Tomoe Katagiri. And on the front of the card, it's ichi ni ichi so is one case and one form, and then at the bottom it says appearance. The line, as you know, the Katagiris received a baby that we lost, and then we lost our father. We have to accept equally both coming and going. It is too painful to say it is our practice, but we try to stand up in the pain. This is something that's very it's very difficult to do, to actually stand up in the life that we have. So through our greed, anger, and ignorance, we only see the baby as a beginning. And then through our greed, anger, and ignorance, we only see the death or the leaving of Kokusaifukyoshi. But there's so much as a part of that instead of just the beginning and the end. But to stand up in the midst of that, we realize something, or we actualize something that's very deep. So it's kind of this pain is the vibrancy that is something that is so great that we don't understand it. But this standing up then is accepting. It's something. It's a great acceptance. 1 month ago, I went to. I took my son Eiheiji and Kashin. We went on a road trip, and then we went to the Canyonlands. And the Canyonlands it's in Utah near Moab, and you drive up to the rim of the canyon, and there's hundreds of people actually. They're looking off the canyon rim, and they're looking at nothing, and it's amazing. They're facing nothing, and that they try to take pictures of it or a selfie. But what they're seeing is they are seeing actually their own arrival to where actually they stand on the rim. So the rim and the spaciousness cannot be anything else but this self. Or you say the canyon, the self of everything that they're seeing. So, and that's what that was the Buddha's proclamation. I alone am the world honored one. So when we arrive to this ground, to right where we are, then what we see is a lot different than just a baby at the beginning, and then also the death of a father. So it is. It's very important to ask ourselves, as practitioners, no matter what religion you fall under, is what do you see outside of yourself? Not necessarily outside of yourself. So we have to accept equally both coming and going. So this acceptance or taking refuge is a homecoming, or arriving to is to take refuge. So we accept, we hold all of these parts equally. Then equal is hard, but looking at the baby, you understand what a baby is, and that's our conditioned way of thinking. But actually, that's very upside down. But to hold them both equally is a very, very different way looking at life. And it's painful, and also it takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength, a lot of effort, but boy, it's vibrant. It's vibrant, and then it includes everything. So to accept this coming together. Oh, when we do gasho, it's very important. This is the how we hold our gasho is very important. It should be precise. It should be a certain way. The palms. Oh, when I was at Eiheiji, this was a while ago, but before that, I remember my father, Kwong Roshi, telling me this is what Roshi said. You must hold the palms of your hands together, and there shouldn't be any gap in between, and the fingers should be straight, and also the gasho should be right up with your nose, and it shouldn't be too relaxed, or it shouldn't be too rigid. And when I was at Eiheiji, we were having a service, and we were chanting, and all of a sudden, I remembered, and I said, "Yes, I got it." And then I was clobbered by someone in the back. I was clobbered by someone in the back of me. But it's very, very important. These forms that we do, actualizing the forms that we do is very important, because it is the forms, embodying these forms, bring all, you would say, dualities together. It's embodying left and right, subject and object, long and short, cold and hot. And it's becoming, it's going beyond, because now it's a direct experience. So of course, the sitting, our practice of zazen is extremely important. Zazen is really extremely important, to sit down, but not very many people actually do it. Maybe meditation, maybe something to relax, but not to actually investigate or see who this is, by just sitting down. But to do this over and over and over it's extremely important. But we all look very far away to something that's actually very, very deep and profound. I mean, it's our life. What can actually be more precious than that, than actually our life? Actually, right now, as I speak, we're living, and as also we're dying. So these parts, when we sit down in zazen, you have the legs, and somebody says to hold the mudra a certain way, and you have your knees a certain way, and your shoulders. So they're all parts. The zazen, the body of zazen are all parts at the beginning. Well, actually, I'm not the beginning, but there's the eyes, there's the head, and when we take the posture of zazen, then these parts start to they start to integrate, and they start to come together. And also this is an experience then that's imprinted again and again and again as we just sit down. So these parts, you understand the working of all things just through Zazen by having these parts. So you see through your nose. You hear through your foot. You breathe through your back or through your kidneys. It's a completely different way of being. And as the thinking mind settles down, and it goes from the head, then to the chest, and then down to the base, then slowly the pieces of Zazen then become together. So this is actualizing actually a whole body. This is the arrival. This is our arrival. I mean, what could be better than that? And most deep and profound is our own arrival. So all the parts of then Zazen start to become, they work with each other. And so this Zazen is then being in accordance then to actually the universe. So when we sit and when we sit down, the instructions are you rock from right to left, from large arcs to small arcs. So you come from the relative or conditioned world then into your center, which is now the absolute. So this absolute then is in line with, then you feel actually the gravity of your body with the universe. So this is then being in accordance. It's all the pieces of Zazen, or you would say the individual parts then all become one. And when the mind then sees things or is all things, and there's a point then that something happens, and that's something that happens, we don't know what it is. But it's something that's so deep and profound that then we go, oh, I got it. I got it. And then you're really in trouble. And then you don't have it. Then again, you try to aim at it, but then that's also not it. But just throw it all away. Throw it all away. Have the pieces come apart. They come apart. Now you adjust your hand. Maybe breathe in. So, and then again, all the pieces, then they start to work together again. And you do that actually over and over and over again until not something happens, it is happening. That is the happening. So to accept what Tomoe was saying is to stand up. It's to accept, is to hold all opposites, is to hold all objects that what we see as not label them. So we have a good thought, we have a bad thought, we have a happy thought, we have fear, we have anger, we have joy, but we don't move from it. We totally keep still, and we don't sit through it. You could say we do, but then at the same time we don't do. So it is our greed, anger, and ignorance that makes that aim, but then this greed, anger, and ignorance turns into something that's great, deep, profound, and also refreshing at the same time. So this all the things we see, the things we hear through our ears, the sounds, the taste, the smells, in Zazen, we're impartial and we hold all of that as equal and we give it all space. And when we give it all space in that way, something happens. And this is actually the doing, or you would say it's the spaciousness. Then it's looking at you deep. It's looking deep at you. This spaciousness, or the canyon is now looking at you. It's doing you. So this. Yeah, I'm just starting to understand just a little bit, but it's quite it's quite deep and profound, and also it's bottomless. The practice is bottomless. So it's something very radical to do, but then at the same time, no, it's actually very sane. So it is hard to do, and it is very much alone. But this aloneness, though, it's in accordance with the whole universe. So this I, or this I alone, is not alone. It's great. So this is right here. I have my note. Don't forget non-doing. It's not doing anything, So you just sit down and you're not doing anything. And then when you do nothing, then the chair does you. Or it's quite great in that way. The chair does you, and you cannot feel, but then it's a vibrancy, and you feel refreshed. So again, then when you feel refreshed, you are revived and you have arrived. When you have arrived, then that candle over there has arrived, and then it's refreshed and you are refreshed, and it's a magnet. It's a magnet of, it's beyond goodness, magnet beyond goodness. That then this is a cultivation of actually all things. This working of all things is very different than how we see the world as, you and me, the chair, the floor. A lot deeper than that. Maybe I just read some short thing. And this is from Dogen's Total Dynamic Working. The great path of the Buddhas. So it's a great path of the Buddhas in its consummation is passage to freedom, is actualization. That passage So this is going through. That passage to freedom, in one sense, is that life passes through life to freedom. And death, also death passes through death to freedom. Therefore, there is leaving life and death. There is entering life and death. Both are the great path of consummation. There is abandoning life and death. There is crossing over life and death. Both are the great path of consummation. Actualization is life. Life is actualization. When that actualization is taking place, it is without exception the complete actualization of life. It is the complete actualization of death. This pivotal working can cause life and cause death. At the precise moment of the actualization of this working, it is not necessarily great, not necessarily small, not all pervasive, not limited, not extensive, not brief. So there's a moment when this something happens. And that's the precision then, as we hold our hand in Gata, or as we wash our dishes, as we drive, as we brush our teeth, as we walk down the street. This is being very precise. Then something happens, but we have to arrive or stand up in the midst of it. So this is the interesting thing, the ichi ni ichi, so one taste. One taste is very interesting. So we throw everything in there: our greed, anger, and ignorance, anger, love, hate, bitter, sweet, celery, carrots, onions, and we put a lid on it. So this is our zazen in our practice, and we shut up. We shut our mouth, and it's under a pressure cooker, like a pressure cooker. All those things, they work again. All the opposites, they work. Your greed, anger, and ignorance, they work. But this is when we not push it, but when we contain it, and we feel the pain, we feel suffering, we feel joy, but then we let it go. This is standing up. When we take the lid off or release the pressure cooker, then there's a fragrance. Oh, I alone am the world honor one. It's the baby. The baby's born. In the Garden of Lumbini, the baby is born. The flowers, they blossom and they bloom and they turn. And this is the fragrance that we smell in a different way, because we have worked through something, we have actualized it. It's quite amazing. So one taste, all parts, then one form. This is completely different way of looking at things. So at the same time, yes, this is the book here, but then it's not what you see. But then it is what you see. So it's beyond, the Buddha Dharma is beyond our thinking mind. It's great, but we go from one to the next. But then also that's the practice too. So I think yeah, I think I should probably stop. I think that's enough. But I guess should maybe open that up for, do you have questions? I don't know if I could answer any of these questions because they are so great, but feedback or comments, maybe, please, if anybody has anything to say. Any thoughts, ideas? Nothing.
Question.
Yes, Coco.
So when going gets tough, that's great that of all the years of practicing training, you experience that. But for beginners like me who gets easily discouraged and fell off the wagon, how do you keep yourself motivated to keep going?
Yeah. Well, you have to you have to meet. This is a meeting. So when you meet a chair, you could meet a chair. It's your own arrival when you meet. That's the inspiration. But you have to trust that, but not up here, but you have to trust it in your body. So it's a training, what we're doing. So forgetting, it's difficult, but it's a training. But when we meet, so of course I'm speaking in the absolute, but when we meet, then as you meet your teacher, then you become inspired. You meet this way. So even for you to ask that question, that's inspiration, or that's actualizing. So that's now speaking through your heart, maybe speaking through your ear. So all that, but you have to trust it, and it's a training. But they do say, and I'm starting to understand it just a little bit. You sit 10 years, sit 20 years. You sit 30 years, and it starts to, something different starts to happen, but it's worth it. So yeah, there is a lot of effort to it, but also there's nothing. What else is there to do? I mean, what else is there to do?
Okay, that's a good one. Thank you.
Watch TV, or I can watch TV now and be more relaxed. That sounds actually pretty good, but it's not. So that's our conditioned way of thinking, is we go back into our cocoon, our conditioned way of being, and we go like, God, that feels a lot better, right? But when you step out from your conditioned way, when you're doing zazen, it's painful. It's painful, and it's effort. There's pain, but it's short-circuiting than your conditioned way of being. Short-circuiting, and you have to trust that. But this trust then is coming to your own home and arriving where you are, and then everything starts to then pull you. So it's not you actually that's doing it. Just like all the people when they're looking at the valley outside of themselves, they're seeing themselves. Also, the valley is seeing them, and it pulls them. So this is actually it's a different way. So you're not doing it. So now then everything is doing you. And then again, then you wake up, you're all like, oh my God, a bad day. And then you go, whether it's a bad day, good day, put on your shoes. Long or short, you wash the dishes. Birth or death, you put on your glasses. And something happens within that. And that's this passage. That's this passage. So.
Thank you.
I really liked when you said you can hear with your feet, or you can see with your elbow, or I don't exactly know what you said, but, and then also the chair arrives. And so relationships and within and
Yeah,
I really appreciated that.
it's coming together.
Yes.
Yeah. I think somebody's talking. I cannot hear you. I think you're on mute.
Thank you for the reminder. Hi, I'm Andrea. Thank you so much. I think I just wanted to bring forward some of the things you said at the beginning about your own seeing of some of these masters that came into your life, and you were able to see them and they would see you. I had the experience when I met Kokusaifukyoshi of just feeling like the world had changed for me just by seeing him, the way that he moved. Like you were just talking about how something is happening that isn't your making it happen. And I think that I saw that in him, that something was happening in his presence that he was not causing to happen, that just something was emerging from his presence in this world and his understanding of what life is, that it just is apparent. And I had never seen it before. And it seemed like when she was talking about motivation, how do you keep going? I think it was when I realized that there was something there within, that was a capability within the human existence to be something more than I had ever seen what human existence was. That has become a lifelong motivation for me. And I want to thank you for taking the teaching seat and speaking today. It was very moving and meaningful to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So
I'd just also like to express gratitude. Thank you, Nyoze.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful. You might be interested to know too that Andrea is the person who edited the last two of Kokusaifukyoroshi's books.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The Light That Shines Through Infinity and Each Moment is the Universe. But anyway, are you going to do 3 bows now at the end?
Yeah, or we could just do the closing. You could do the closing verse, and then maybe
Okay.
that's good enough.
Okay. We do it in the Thich Nhat Hanh tradition.
Okay.
May the merit of this practice
May the merit of this practice
benefit all beings,
benefit all beings,
and bring peace.
and bring peace.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
And when you're in North Carolina, please visit.
Okay. Bye. Bye, everybody.